All right, here we are. Finally, finally. Thank you so much for some of those waited that long. Apologies for not being here on time that I said I was gonna do the stream usually. Um, I did play a concert last night in Aspen here in Colorado, which is like 3.5, 4 hours away. And we got to rail, went to a road that was closed. We had to do all this stuff, and it was like really, really tiring after all that. So we had to stay. We decided to stay in Aspen last night after the concert. And sorry, we're postponing the stream a little bit, but here we are. So it's great to be here with you guys. Jigs, yes, finally, I'm finally here, man. Thank you for sticking around. All right, greetings from Frankfurt, Germany. Wow, thank you for plugging in. All right, here we are. We are talking about Autumn Leaves today, the classic, right? The great song played for a million times for everybody. Yeah, the same thing we'll do today, trying to get to Sambafy that, try to get that to sound like Brazilian, or get that groove, get that movement. A few things. Let's just get right into it. We don't have a lot of time to lose. We already waited too much. Let's just go straight into it. So here's the classic Autumn Leaves, or the real book, right? The something like this. You all know Autumn Leaves. Right, we all know, we all love it. There's so many things we can do with this tune. I will cover the sort of the Sambafying thing, where you get that into the grid, into the groove, and I'll try to get a little information on sort of some harmonic tricks we can do here, which is cool, and something else, whatever you guys want to talk about and ask, basically. Going sort of into that principle that I have been talking non-stop for the last month. In order to make this melody work into this groove, we have to sort of conform the melody along with the rhythms and the grooves that we're doing, right? So let me go back to my view over here. So if I'm doing to create syncopation points and something that makes the melody dance, so to speak, right? So I can do something 1, 2, instead of I will do and then boom, I'm already in, right? 1, 2. You see that you already get the melody some character to really conform to the groove that we are playing. The figure that I talk about all the time, that I call the Brazilian syncopation figure, is the 8-note, 16/8 note. That's what sort of the go-to figure here. Instead of playing quarter notes as written, da, 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 if you're gonna do 1, 2, right, getting that upbeat feel. That's what we have to do. There are many ways to achieve that. This is something that I talk a lot about in my Brazilian Guitar Institute, which, by the way, you can get into the waiting list right here. We have about to launch it. So we're a little more on the about to launch. We talk about autumn leaves actually specifically. I have an arrangement that I show this process using autumn leaves as sort of the example, exactly doing that, the Sambafying, the Sambafying thing. I show that here. I won't go in so much detail here, but I will give you a hint of how things are. But you can see that sort of the key to get this melody to dance is to conform the syncopation to the groove. That's what we did here. If I will play the chords for autumn leaves, right, in the style, samba will be 1, 2, 3. That's the harmony. To put the melody inside that groove, you gotta apply the syncopation. So we have been talking about here for a long time. So I'll try to create that here. 1, 2. Something like that. You can see the system working here. As I said before, the idea is the melody has to carry enough information, rhythmic information, to actually inform the groove. That's one of the things that I talk about all the time. And you can see here that I am basically playing the melody as far as the rhythm. And then the second stage is, which we also talked about, when the melody rests or the melody is long, we bring the groove. On this particular melody of autumn leaves, we have a lot of long, and resting points that then we bring the groove, right? So here, 1, 2, groove. But here, I'm just going along with the melody, right? And then whenever the melody rests, I go groove. This is the melody carrying, groove, and then groove. Groove all the way. Like this portion here I'm using, right? Grooving with the melody. It just so happens that this melody has a lot of points of rest and long notes, so we're gonna be actually using the groove a lot on this one compared to some of those that the melody most of the time is carrying the groove. This one we're gonna have a lot of groove to play, which is cool. But I'll show you this particular point at towards the end where the melody is just carrying the whole thing, like altering the melody a little bit here to give a little more, to be more danceable, if you will. And then when you apply the syncopation, you see that you have the ultimate syncopation. Like nothing is on the downbeat, and that's great to apply the system. See, and that particular part here, everything's being carried by the groove. The last, sorry, rather the melody. The whole part, the melody is just carrying the groove. It's just as simple as that. Again, it just works, right? As far as harmony, what I altered here a little bit was F sharp half diminished, B7 just regular, then E minor minor 9, and then E flat 7. I just did that. E flat 7, flat 5, right? And then D minor 9, G7. I just kind of altered them a little bit because the melody is right? So I did and then here the original is C major 7, and then B, so I did like a dominant here. That's to get a little bit of a different color there. So that's it. It's very simple to make Alton Leaves groove, and sounds like, you know, put that into the Brazilian groove. Again, gotta pay attention to the syncopation, and once you do that, the melody will carry a lot of the groove, and then this particular song, this particular tune, this particular melody has a lot of points of long notes that get long or rests, and that's when you bring the groove in. All right, so it's pretty straightforward. Is Brian nice? Thanks for being here, Brian. That's it, right? So as far as the tune, it'd be something like this. If I can play the whole thing, 1 and 2. Right, so yeah, what else I did here, there's a little different, was little substitution here. I did so instead of landing in G major, I land in G sharp minor. To C in this case, but I can go back to G and then go to C if I want, but basically I am substituting the G major for G sharp minor. So that's a cool trick here that you can do, because the melody is allowing me to do that, right? It's a major third, and then here's a minor third, right? Same melody, G major, G sharp minor. So I can do that sub there, which is cool. And then I did this dominant instead of major. Right? So that's pretty much the idea here of Alton Leaves. The melody is really cool to use with the system, and it's got a lot of space, so you can play a lot of groove as I play. Groove, 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 Alright, so there's a lot of moments here to play the groove. So the melody rests a lot, so it's not one of those like super active melodies. Most of the time it is carrying the groove. Here you have a lot of actually opportunities to play the groove itself. And I'm playing a samba groove, as you already know. 1, 2, 1, 2. That thing, right? If you want to learn more about this groove, the samba stuff, you're gonna get into our Facebook group. Again, I'm gonna make the shameless plug here. You have the facebook.com Groups Brazilian Guitar. The name of the group is Contemporary Brazilian Guitar Mastery Group. It's free to enter. You have questions at entry, and there's like tons of lessons, great stuff there. I talk about samba, I talk about all the grooves, there's PDFs, there's a lot of stuff going on there. So if you want to get more into the samba and other grooves, go there. Or again, you go to the BrazilianGuitarInstitute.com and get in the waiting list, and then we open it up soon. So then we're actually gonna go deep into alto leaves. That's one of the tunes that we use to show the system, this Sambafying thing. You get to learn a lot by tunes like that. There's a lot of opportunities here, harmonically speaking, to do a lot of interesting things. I won't have time to go into a lot of them, because this Alto Leaves is one of those tunes, man, that you can spend a decade looking at it and getting stuff from it, right? But a few things that I would share, they're like really cool that I use personally. It's like the major chords. You can make them dominant chords. You know, like for instance, see, instead of G major 7, I can do dominant, and then C major I can do dominant as well. That's what I can do. So when you solo and stuff, that's cool. Same thing on the other part, the other section. Here, when you go into A minor, you can put a dominant chord there, which is cool. This one is a great point because you can also do both dominant thing or do that substitution I show, like the G sharp minor, dominant again, and then a bunch of dominants here, dominant, 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 a bunch of dominant chords that you can use. So those are great places to substitute and use those things. Alright, so you guys have any questions those far? Like, you know, I'm talking a lot because I just got straight into it and started. I haven't even like played today, warm up or anything. So I'm just trying to get to you guys and get the stream going. Unfortunately, this whole thing was a mess in terms of time, and I apologize again. But to just, you know, safety first, right? We like driving at night for 4 hours, not a good thing. You know, fortunately, I'll try to get as much as I can. I don't have a lot of time today. I got a lot of stuff, but I'm here. And if you have any questions about Alto Leaves, I'm happy to answer. Or any other questions, you know, just feel free to ask them here. Of course, Alto Leaves is one of those short tunes that then you gotta do something, right? So you get to kind of a solo moment there to do something. And that's something we can get to at some point too, like what to do when you play the song, and then you can use the same principles basically to create your melodies. That's something you can do, you know. My guitar is going out of tune, and Colorado weather don't really like, guitars don't really like this dry weather. Right, I think it's all right now. Yeah, so a lot of tricks here that I showed, like dominant chords there, and you can. Let's try to do a little little run here with the harmony. See what we can do. Something like this, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Another thing I use here that I forgot to mention, another cool substitution you can use here is, let's say when you play the melody the second time, I use that trick. It's a pretty common trick, like half step up, minor chord, right? Since you're going to A minor, I just went to B flat minor, and then back. I use that trick there. I use some pedals at some points. Instead of doing F sharp, half diminished on B, I just straight on B. Over B. I can do a pedal here. Just get D pedal. Right? Since you have all these dominants, you can always do a bunch of pedals. So that's always a, an available thing to do there. Let's get a question here from Z. What's up, man? Hey, man, I recently found your channel and I really love your bossa nova playing. Thank you so much. To our notice your B7, your 7th string tune. I already gave it away in B. I use in B, E, B, G, D. That's what I use it. I like it because I can have the fourth relationship, so I can play similar chords and kind of expand on the low register. That's why I use in B. Cool. Thanks for the question. Thanks for being here, man. If you have another question, let me know. I'm happy to get to that. Yeah. So let me know if you have any questions about album leaves in general, the harmony or soloing or whatever. The system applied here, as I said before, like beautifully. You just have to make sure that you bring the melody, to that particular language. And we talked about that in the previous streams, right? You have to apply syncopations that kind of vibe with that style. And I talked about the most commonly used one, the 16, 8, 16, that figure that you put in there. There's also 16 notes, but I think we talked about accents before in previous streams. If you're doing a 16 note run, you have like a 1 bar or 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, right? If you accent the second 16 of the first group, right, the second one, and then leave the other one alone, like I'm accenting the second 16 of that first group. So if you want to do, let's say a solo run with like 16 notes, 1 and 2, accenting now. Accenting the second 16 note of those two groups of 4 16 notes, you accent the second one there, the first group. Then you can have like a really cool kind of inside the language, you know. Something like that. It really works. It really gives a nice push. You know, it really gets inside this groove. So it's a really cool thing to apply. What else? What else you guys have as far as questions? Again, this particular melody, Autumn Leaves, provides us with a lot of space for grooves. Right, not all the other ones, they're super active as far as melodies. But when you are playing a melody, never forget that the melody is carrying the groove, right? Here, that's the one that the melody is more active. Like over here, I'm not playing or thinking of a groove at all. I'm just going with the melody, kind of carrying all the rhythmic information that the melody needs, the groove needs to be realized. It's just the melody. Right? So that's how you play that melody with this groove. We're going through a simple thing. 1, 2, 3, right? If you want to go step by step, you can use the syncopation figure I talk about. Right, and then you 1 or something like that. Right, you do put that melody inside that universe, and then you start applying the ties. 1, you know. Instead of doing, right, now we put it tight, then you have the full syncopation. Right, that's what you need, all those anticipation points with the ties and everything, and then you really inside this universe, right? Variation from what I was playing before, like I'm doing or it just works. The system works. If you bring the melody, you can bring the alto leaves melody into a samba, bossa nova, Brazilian stuff. And we talk a little bit about the tricks, right? Some harmonic stuff, you can do that. Alto leaves is a tune that is really, really open to so much. We can spend a long time kind of going deep into the harmony and things to do. Last thing I talked about pedals, right? Since you have so many dominant chords, you can put pedals a lot here. I use a D pedal. Stay in D. Then I did a pedal in B. Stay in B. Then I can keep the same pedal. And then go E to a D pedal again. Another B pedal. You see, there is B pedals and D pedals, I guess. That's pretty much what you can do here. There's so many dominant chords that can just use these two pedals, and it's great. You can change the groove, play more of a samba funk groove. Lots of pedals. I basically use B and D. Those are the pedals I use here, and this harmony works great. You can do different grooves like that, the Sambafying, and yeah, good stuff. Lots of good things you can do there. Can be questions around, because I'll probably call it a day today. I'm really tired, and I didn't really want to come here and talk to you guys, and I missed the early time. But next week we're gonna go back to regular programming for sure. But I hope you got some stuff today from Alto Leaves. I'll play a little bit more, but again, if you wanna dive deep into this, don't forget to go to Brazilian Guitar Institute, sign up for the waiting list, and if you get to if you wanna go get some grooves and some ideas, go to our group. It's free. Brazilian Guitar Contemporary. Contemporary Brazilian Guitar Mastery Group. That's what this address will take you to. It's free. You get some questions at entry, and I hope to see you there, because there's a lot of stuff and tons of content over there. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks for sticking around. Jigs. Yes, you were short but packed. Yes, I tried to go straight to the point, if you will. I'll play a little bit more, and then if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the chat, and then we'll call it a day for now. Let me see if I can play some. Something like that. Right? It's a lot to unpack here, but pretty much the same things we talked about. There's a bunch of those tricks here. Thank you, Hartwig. Thanks for coming in and plugging into the stream. If you guys have any questions, just leave here on the chat, and I'll take a look at them later. But if you don't have any more questions, I'll say bye for today. Again, apologies for my delay, but it was unintended consequence of playing in the mountains. That's what happens with the weather. But it was a great show, and then I'll be posting some videos and stuff, so you can check it out. I hope you get something out of Autumn Leaves. This tune is like really cool to do so much. There's so much we haven't talked, but we'll definitely talk more in the future. I got a question here. When you transcribe pieces to the guitar, are you trying to have the 1s and 5s to the open bass string, or was the main decision for the key? That's a great question, Z. Usually it just happens that this key of Autumn Leaves, it just falls greatly on the guitar, right? Open strings, so it's already there, available, right? Some of these pedals. On this case, the open string, the open B, I got like an E minor thing, so it's like right away B is available to play, right? Pedals. I'm not really at first looking for different keys or anything. Of course, if you're looking to a more optimized guitar arrangement, you will at some point consider the key if it's a good key for the guitar, right? Autumn Leaves, in this case, this particular key just happens to be great for guitar. It's like open string stuff. But I do take it as a challenge of playing stuff in really odd keys for guitar, because you can always get interesting things out of it. There's always a little path, a little note, a little movement that you otherwise wouldn't have thought about it if you were in that particular challenging key situation. One thing I try to do when I'm practicing or exploring, I always try to get a particular tune and transpose to a really odd, weird key that I wouldn't play, some kind of flat or sharp key of some kind, just to basically force myself into the challenge of coming up with stuff, right? Coming up with different things, different takes, and you'll be surprised on how much you get out of this particular exercise, as far as opening up your mind to different solutions that you otherwise would just not see, because you're so used to play those songs in a particular key, either the original key or the guitar key. You can find open strings in so many things, like you can find those open strings in chords like this, or there's like so much that you can find, openings and open strings everywhere. There's like a lot of possibilities on chords that are not super open string based, but they still provide some open strings sounds, and they'll shine when you're playing a key that will feature some of those chords, so you can plug in some of those open strings and stuff. So the idea of using 1s and 5s and things like that is just because Autumn Leaves, it just asks for that. There's a lot of open chords that I can use because of the key I'm playing minor, so I can use my 7-string guitar, bass 7, to like get all this stuff. All these chords can be they sound nice with open strings, but I can play in other keys and things, something will show up, something will be available for you to use. And I would encourage yourself and everybody else to try to play the songs that you know already. Try them in a complete different key, like a completely odd, unusual key that you haven't thought about it. And you will be surprised on how forced it will be to come up with something. And that exploration, that work that you put into it will definitely generate a lot of different solutions, very unexpected, that you wouldn't think otherwise. So that's great. It's a great exercise to try on tunes. I just played that in E minor, but there's different things you can do in different keys, that get you inspired with different solutions. Tunes I play in different keys, other tunes, but I guess the summary is that I forced myself to play in different keys, other than the school open string ones, because they still provide a lot of interesting solutions that you can record, store, and then use on different situations. Cool. I hope I answered your question. So thanks for the question. And that's it for everybody. That's it for today. It was a little shorter one, but we have been going for like a long ones, almost 2 hours. So this is kind of more the usual ones I should be. But thank you so much for being here with me today. Sorry again for the delay. And we're going to be back next Saturday on regular programming. I will pick another song for us to talk about and really dive in again into this Sambafying system and just making it groove, making it the Brazilian stuff. Cool. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.